So I'm gonna try to show you here how to do a pretty simple treatment for a flame, particularly a candle flame. Um, I'll try to get through this pretty quick, so I may not be able to explain everything as I go because I'm not very good at doing a tutorial and adding dialogue as I go or instruction as I go. Anyway, I'm just going to create a simple 5-frame flame here. And I'm just going to take that, put that same base on all my flames. And I'm not really going for any kind of great animation here. I'm just really trying to show you how to do an average treatment for a flame. And then we'll take all of our frames, extend the exposure to 3. Yep, good enough. And there we go. Okay, so the first thing that you need to do is to create a gradient, and we're going to do that over here. I've got a gradient already, a color swatch already ready to go here. We'll click gradient. I like the multi-wheel. It's easier to make your different adjustments in here. For me it is anyway. And we'll stay with a linear gradient. There's a number of different colors that we're going to use here, and I've actually taken a screenshot just to make it easier to show you the different colors that we're going to use, and also easier for me to get through it quicker. So the colors that I'm using are light blue, a kind of a blue, a purple, a very mild orange, and a white core, yellow tip, and then the orange. The very tip of the flame will be orange. So we're going to go with a light blue at the base, and then a blue. Now obviously you can always come in and adjust these until you get what you're looking for. A very mild yellow, somewhere about there, and then we'll hit that with another white, and then the core will be pretty white all the way through. Orange, oops, what the hell is going on here? Are you kidding me? Is that the max number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I don't know what's going on. Let's open that back up. There we go. And that one's going to be a really dark orange. So we'll go ahead and just drop that into the flame here so we can see what we're working with. And so far, it looks pretty decent. Get that more centered there. And this is just where you're going to come in and adjust it until you get the blend to look the way that you would like it to look. The great thing about this treatment, the way that I like to do it, is that it towards the end you're going to blur the hell out of it, so it really just doesn't matter if you have a really hard edge here in between each color's the transition between each color. So the next step is we're going to go ahead and grab the color here. We're going to select our first frame, particularly the middle area that's colored. Come over here to your tool properties, scroll down, hit this here. This is going to save your store your color gradient. Make sure that you have that selected, store your color gradient, and then we're going to go to the very next frame, and we're going to get the fill bucket. Make sure that you have this swatch here, or this button here toggled. That's to use the gradient color. Use stored color gradient. We're going to hit this, the apply to multiple drawings, and we're going to go ahead and color it. Now all of our frames have the same exact gradient applied to them. You can, if you like, come in here on each frame, grab your gradient, and I don't know, tweak it a little bit just so each frame kind of dances a tiny bit. If you do it too much, it just looks somewhat stupid. So we'll just go ahead and shrink that down a little bit and shrink that down. Alright, bring that up just a little bit more. We play it back. Yeah, great, wonderful. The next step is we have our outside, the outline or our line work is a white color here. We'll just go ahead and turn that off. Just lower the alpha on it. So now all we're just stuck with is our fill. And I don't know, I say that looks pretty good. Go ahead and render that out, or hit your render view here, and go over to your network. And what we're going to do here is, let's see, what am I working on? Fire. Got F1 there. So in our network, we got the fire here. I want to duplicate that a couple times. Copy it. I did Command C and then Command V to paste it a couple times here. I'll drag these out to the side. Now what I'm going to do with these is go to my module library over here, and I want a directional blur for each of them. So I'm going to copy that a couple times and paste it. And I also want a glow. So I'm going to take that and copy it once and go ahead and connect all these and drag them over here. It's really difficult. I don't know any way to keep your network view clean other than sitting here meticulously straightening things out like this, which it really, at the end of the day, unless you have a whole bunch of different modules, then it just doesn't make any damn sense to do it. Anyway, make sure that you have your fire that only has the blur direction on top, and then your other two glows. It doesn't matter in what order you have those. It's all pretty much user preference. Go back to your camera view, and we're still in the render view. Okay, we haven't seen any difference because we haven't made any adjustments to any of those layers so far. The first one we're going to go ahead and adjust is the blur direction. Go in here, set your angle to north. I use a lot. Okay, you can put it at 25 or higher or lower. It's up to you how you want that to look. But just start off with something like 20, somewhere around 25. You'll see these colors really blend nicely once you do that. And my computer is slow as hell, so it takes a little while to render. There you go. Now, the only issue I have with that is I don't know if that's the fall off rate or what the hell you would call it. Maybe it is. So let's try turning that up and see what happens. I don't like how much it blurs at the tip here, or how much it carries the blur off of it. So yeah, it looks like the fall off rate really did help by adjusting that to 1. It really did help cut that back a little bit. Okay, so you can see that everything is blurring nicely there now. It's blending together really nice as opposed to that which we started off with. You can use a radial gradient to kind of get the same effect, but I think that would be better suited to like a gas flame. Next we're going to come in here to our first directional blur. I should have just copied these after making the adjustment so I didn't have to do each one, but I didn't, and there we go. So I'll go ahead and make that adjustment, make this a 24 as well, set the angle, set the fall off to 1, angle north, and close it. Now I've got directional blur on all these that's pretty much the same, but the important part is going to be our glow. Go ahead and click on the color there, increase the alpha, I do anyway, and decide on a color that you'd like for your glow. I like to go with orange, and then I'll increase that to, I don't know, whatever starts to look good. And we'll just wait for it to render and see what that looks like. Yeah, extremely long time. Yeah, that is well, it's a bit much. So I think that what I'll do here is shit, maybe I'll increase it. No, that didn't really help any. Let's go over to our next glow and go ahead and change the colors here. Maybe a yellowish color. Oops. Yellow. And shoot that up a little bit. No, don't like that at all. Looks like my blur direction is not really working here. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That's the problem. Make sure you do these in the right order. You want your blur direction to come after the glow. So just go ahead and disconnect those. And if you did it the way that I did it. So we want our glow to come first. The hierarchy does matter when it comes to modules, so make sure that you, well, I don't know what you're doing before you start messing with them. And we should see a nice difference here. So it's not really affecting the actual color too much, the base color on the top layer, and it still hasn't rendered yet either. So let's give that a second and see what we get. Might need to cut the glow back a little bit. I apologize for how long this thing takes to render. Alright, now I don't like the way the glow looks. It's a little too hard, so I'll just increase the radius a bit, probably on both of these. The orange, I think I'll just go quite a bit higher on that. One day I'm going to have a nice computer. So just for the sake of just showing you a simple treatment, you need to come in here and mess with these modules to really get the look that you're looking for. But with just 3 layers and with pretty much 5 different modules, you can get a really average looking treatment on your flame here. The other thing that I like to do is I don't like this tip to just end like this. I don't like how hard that looks. So I'll go back into my gradient. I'll grab the last color, which is that hard orange, and I'm going to just lower the alpha on it to like 70. Let's see what that looks like. I want it to kind of just bleed off, or I'm sorry, diffuse, and not really have this point on it. Man, forever and a day. Can you imagine what it's like when I'm actually animating? So that's a little bit softer. I like that. The other thing I'll also do is take the lower, this really bright blue here, and I'm going to drop that alpha down as well. I like these edges to be soft, even the edges on the sides. And there's a whole hell of a lot of things you can do to really play with the flame and get it, well, just to look really nice and realistic. I'm also gonna kind of bring that core down a little bit, bring my yellow in so it rises up just a tiny bit, and that white core is going to be a little bit more towards the top there. So I didn't like that too much. So we'll move that, move this guy up just a tiny bit. There you go. The other thing that I'm noticing is that it looks like my directional blur just is not making me happy here on these glows. Let's see here. I'll just take that fall off rate off of it. Of course, I'm letting it render right now. It really takes a long time on this computer. Because I want the outer glow to push. I want the color to, I want the glow to push upward. So I suppose if you do a fall off rate on that, it's really going to bring the glow back down and keep it tight around the flame itself. I like that, but I don't like the colors. Anyhow, just reduce a couple different things here, like the alpha and the saturation of the color. Maybe give it a little bit more of a reddish color. Lower the alpha a little bit. Okay, so anyways, we don't have to let this render. I'm just going to go ahead and render it out. Um, looks like I accidentally did I? Oh yeah, it looks like I accidentally painted the outline here. I'll just go through and delete that really quick. Oh shoot. Alrighty then. There we go. So I'll just go ahead and render it in the player. Again, this is just this is a 15-minute treatment that I just came up with on it. It's nothing special. It's just a really simplistic treatment. It was recommended earlier on in the course not to spend too much time treating stuff, especially if you don't have the actual flow of the animation working, the mechanics of the animation actually working for you. And this is taking forever because I'm running a screen capture software in the background, and it's just hogging the hell up out of my CPU. So bear with it, and maybe we'll see something cool when that's done. Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend personally to spend too much time trying to treat your fire, especially in the early stages of the course. If you want to, obviously go ahead, but treatment is kind of something that you'll develop as you develop your skills at animating. They go, obviously, they go hand in hand, um, and yeah, the animation is the most important, I'd say. God damn it, 15 frames or so? Can you believe this? It's already taken about 2 minutes to just render 15 frames. Whew. I would keep talking, but obviously I don't have much to talk about, so. And here we go. It looks horrible. It really does. So what I'm going to show you really quick is that this was just one I just did for you guys right now, but before I got into this one, I went ahead and I treated, or I went and did the flame on a different well, I just did the whole animation prior to showing you guys. So again, it looks like my goddamn line work got filled in, which doesn't make me very happy. I don't know how that happened. Now I could use some software to speed this up for you guys. I could have, but whatever. So I'm gonna render this. Give me another 2 minutes here, and you'll get to see the treatment on this one. You can see obviously the colors are a hell of a lot more well blended, but I try to do the same thing quickly in 15 minutes for you. But just spend a little bit of time getting your gradient down right, and once you got your gradient working for you and it looks good, then when you're adding your different glow and blur modules, just spend a little time tweaking those settings. Maybe hopefully your computer is a bit faster than mine, so you can see the results of each tweak in less than 5 minutes, because it's a pain in the ass when you make little adjustments and you're sitting there waiting for this thing to render just to find out that it's not what you were hoping it would be. So yeah, same exact technique on this one. I've got 3 layers here. my fire 1, fire 2. And each one of those layers has a glow and a blur on it, except for the core layer or the base layer, which just has the blur on it. And this flame looks a tad bit better than the one I used as an example. Damn, I'm sorry this is a 20-minute video. Go get yourself some meat. Some tasty meat.
Some tasty meat.
Right? Much better. Yes. We like this one. Okay? There is a very simple treatment. Very, very simple. And I'll show you right here. If you look at the layers, I've got a directional blur on the core layer, right? And I've got a glow and a directional blur on the next layer below that. And then the next layer below that, I have a glow and directional blur. Same as these. Okay? It's just a matter of you tweaking it and refining it and getting it to look the way that you want it to. You can see this looks horrible. Just a horrible blend on my gradient. Turn that off. Look at the other layer. Very nice and smooth. So that's what you need to do. Just make sure that you're tweaking those values and stuff, and spending the time that you need to spend to figure it out. And I'm sure that you'll be more than happy with the results if you give it an adequate amount of time. Thank you. Hope this helped.